Hi, I am Dr. Selvaraj, your surgical educator from Malaysia. Welcome back to my series of surgical teaching videocasts. These are meant mainly for undergraduate medical students doing the surgical clerkship rotation. I promise you will become competent in clinical problem solving and surgical decision making if you are going to watch these videos over and over again. So, in this episode today, I am going to discuss one more image based question in lower GI tract pathology. So, our patient is a 55 years old man. He has come to the hospital with history of altered bowel habits and passing BR-BPR, that is bright red blood per rectum, on and off for the past 2 months. The diagnostic workup of colonoscopy and barium enema are shown here. So these are the two pictures you are seeing. One is the barium enema and another one is colonoscopy. And these are the two pictures and these are the 6 questions. Question number 1, what are the investigations and findings in figure A and in figure B? Question number 2, what is your diagnosis and why you are saying so? And what are the risk factors for this pathology? Question number 3, what are the 4 gross types of this pathology? Question number 4, what are the different modes of presentation of this pathology? Question number 5, give details about the surgical management in this patient. Question number 6, is there a difference in principles with laparoscopic technique and what are the advantages of minimally accessed colorectal resections? So I request my viewers, as usual, you have to pause the video and try to answer all these 6 questions. So after answering all these 6 questions, you can verify your answers with the correct answers which I am going to discuss in the subsequent slides. So question number 1, what are the investigations and findings in figure A and in figure B? So the correct answer is figure A is showing barium enema. So this investigation is barium enema and you are seeing a classical apple core appearance. This is what you are seeing the lesion here and this is the apple core appearance. You are having a clear cut soldering effect both in the proximal as well as in the distal colonic area. All of a sudden, okay, the lumen is becoming narrower and this is what is called apple core appearance. So that denotes growth in the descending colon and this one is a tubular variety because this is like a tube. Okay, figure B, or this figure B is showing colonoscopy and that is revealing a growth in the colon. So most probably because the barium enema is showing a growth there in the just below the splenic flexure. So the growth is most probably in the descending colon just below the splenic flexure. So question number 2, what is your diagnosis and why you are saying so? What are the risk factors for this pathology? The correct answer is the most probable diagnosis is carcinoma of the descending colon. The reasons for this diagnosis, our patient is an elderly person, 55 years old, presented with altered bowel habits and patient is also passing BR-BPR, that is bright red blood per rectum, or it is also known as hematochezia. So the barium enema is showing the classical apple core appearance and the colonoscopy is showing the growth in the descending colon. Clearly you are seeing a growth in the colon here and you are seeing this classical apple core appearance. So in the descending, however, the diagnosis should be confirmed by taking a biopsy with the colonoscopy. That you must do. And the risk factors for this colorectal cancer are FAP, that is familial adenomatous polyposis, and then HNPCC, that is hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer. Both are familiar, so both can run in the families. But FAP is not; it is just 1%. HNPCC is 5 to 10%. And sometimes the IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, especially the ulcerative colitis, can also turn into colon cancer or rectal cancer. Exposure to ionizing radiation, bile acids and alcohol are also risk factors or predisposing factor for the patient to develop colorectal cancers. Question number 3, what are the 4 gross types of this pathology? Okay, the correct answer is, the 4 gross varieties of this cancer is, one is the annular variety, another one is the tubular variety, ulcerative, and the fourth one is proliferative or cauliflower like growth. So here you are seeing the annular variety, it is just like a ring. So in barium enema, if you do a barium enema, so that will give a classical napkin ring appearance here, if it is a annular variety. Suppose if it is a tubular variety, see, it is like a long tube. This is just like annular variety. So that is why you are getting that napkin ring appearance if you do a barium enema. Whereas if it is a tubular variety, in barium enema, you can see the classical apple core appearance. So both this annular and tubular variety, both are stenosing types. Whereas these two varieties, the ulcerative and the proliferative or cauliflower like growth, both won't produce any stenosis. So usually these patients won't present with obstructive symptoms, these ulcerative and proliferative type. But however, barium enema is not diagnostic if it is an ulcerative or proliferative type of cancer. Here you had to do a colonoscopy, take a biopsy, and then only you had to prove. Even here in these varieties, okay, you had to take a biopsy. Biopsy is the ultimate and that is the final diagnosis. Whenever you are suspecting cancer, you must take a tissue biopsy to prove that this is an adenocarcinoma. So that is a must. So question number 4, what are the different modes of presentation of this pathology? So the correct answer is, patients with descending colon carcinoma can present either as an emergency case or as an elective case. As an emergency, they present as acute large bowel obstruction or perforation with peritonitis. Elective presentation, they present with change in bowel habit in form of increasing constipation, because here in the left colon the stools are formed or it is more solid in nature compared to the right-sided colonic cancer, and the bowel lumen is also of the descending colon or the left-sided colon is narrower compared to the right-sided colon, and that is why the obstructive symptoms are more common in the left side, and patient is also, they present with the change in the bowel habits. So after constipation for some time, the accumulated fecal matter proximal to the obstruction that get digested by the bacterial flora in the colon, that get liquefied, resulting in loose stools. So the same patient for some time, to begin with, they have constipation, and after some time, because of the digestion of the proximal accumulated fecal matter, that will get liquefied and the patient is having loose stools. So same patient for some time will be having constipation, after some time they results in loose stools. This is a characteristic feature of the colonic cancer, and this is what is called change in the bowel habits, alternative constipation as well as loose stools. Sometimes there is history of colic abdominal pain due to impending obstruction. Some of these patients may complain pencil thin stool or low caliber stool because of the narrowed lumen of this, the colonic area. The patient tend to pass pencil thin stool or low caliber stool. Question number 5. Give details about the surgical management in this patient. So the correct answer is the pre-op preparation. You have to get the informed consent after explaining why you are doing the procedure, how you are going to do it, and the possible complication. You have to explain to the patient and get a written consent from the patient. There is no need for mechanical bowel prep, which we were doing in the past. Solids you can give up to 6 hours before surgery, liquids up to 2 hours before surgery, but you should give enema 2 hours prior to the surgery. Consult the ERP team, that is Enhanced Recovery Program team, and this Enhanced Recovery after surgery protocols are multimodal perioperative care pathways. So these are all the protocols designed to achieve early recovery after surgical procedures. So you have to consult this team also before surgery. So the surgery you have to do midline laparotomy. Then you have to do what is called Mattox maneuver, or you have to incise the white line of Tolt on the lateral side, and then you have to mobilize the left colon medially. The left gonadal vessels and left ureter should be identified and they should be preserved. The gastrocolic omentum is divided and the lesser sac is entered and the transverse colon is completely freed. The inferior mesenteric artery is identified and ligated either at the origin or below the left colic artery depending on the location of the tumor. Then you have to divide the tumor, or you have to divide the colon proximal. You have to give 2 centimeter clearance proximally as well as distally to the tumor, and then you have to do the end-to-end anastomosis, single layer anastomosis, interrupted suture you have to use for the colonic anastomosis. So question number 6, is there a difference in principles with laparoscopic technique, and what are the advantages of minimally assessed colorectal resections? The correct answer is nowadays segmental resection for primary colorectal cancers are performed using minimally assessed technique. Okay, the laparoscopy. The principles of the procedure are the same as open operation. The only difference is we are not making big incision. Instead of that, for the assess, we are using only keyholes. What are the advantages of minimally assessed colorectal resections are decreased wound-related complications, reduced cardiovascular, respiratory and thromboembolic complication. This is immediate complication. Or reduced incidence of incisional hernia and adhesion-related complication. This is late complications. These are. There is no difference in the overall or cancer-specific survival between the minimally assessed surgery and the open surgery. There is no difference in the survival rate and no increased incidence of port site metastasis. Because it's cancer, you need not bother about the port site metastasis from the primary. That is also not in considerable rate. So the use of ERP or Enhanced Recovery Program along with the minimally assessed resection is complementary in reducing the risk and maximizing the benefits to these patients. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you think that these videos are very helpful to you, kindly subscribe to this channel and share these videos in your social media. Kindly click the bell button also to get notification regarding my latest uploads. Thank you once again for watching this video. Let us meet in yet another video. Until then, bye bye.